All right, guys. So the Pod Save guys, they talked to Jake Tapper. As you all know, Jake Tapper wrote that book about how, Joe Biden and his health condition and his dementia, and he hid it, and it was a problem, and it was a scandal, and how dare they, and let me write a whole book on it and all that. And what many people have been saying, I think correctly so, is, okay, so you were on Biden's ass for that. And by the way, he was on it too late, if anything. He never talked about it when, it was actually brave to talk about it. He only talked about it after it became the duh position for everybody to acknowledge, oh, this was a problem, right? So when it really mattered, he didn't say anything. Now he's saying it nonstop. Guess what's happening today? Well, now Trump's the one that has the health problems, the cognitive issues, all these things going on. And now he's not saying much at all, right? And so he was actually pressed on that on Pod Save, and listen to what he says. Here we go.
Trump falling asleep in meetings, or maybe seeming like he's losing a step. When is it a critical mass that it becomes book-worthy, right, for example?
So it's a great question. I mean, we cover it all the time on my show, all the time. And I think that is to a large degree because we saw what happened with Biden, and while we covered it, we didn't cover it. Maybe we didn't ask as many questions as we should have at the time. And I think it is a legitimate question for any president of any age, but particularly anybody who is in the range of being an octogenarian, right? We cover it all the time. Now, I didn't write a book about Joe Biden's missteps. Alex and I wrote a book about an unprecedented event happening, which was Joe Biden having such a horrible performance at a presidential debate where his only job was to convince people he was up to the task of being president for another 4 years. His performance being so bad that people thought, oh my God, should he drop out of the race? His not being able to do anything to disprove him, which is a really important part of this.
So he's still talking about Biden. In fact, he's literally been doing a book tour to talk about Biden and to talk about how we were lied to and his health was fucked up and all this stuff. And he says here, oh yeah, we talk about it with Trump all the time. Do you? Do you? So I looked up Jake Tapper, Trump, Alzheimer's to see if he's mentioned this. And I haven't seen him mention it. So guys, understand something. Yet again, let me reiterate this. Right now is when it mattered. I talked about the Biden thing when it mattered. He didn't. He wrote a book after the fact to virtue signal and be like, I'm not like the other Democrats. I'm here to tell the truth to you. Well, again, it matters now when it comes to Trump. He's the most powerful man in the world. It's happening again, except worse. And he's nowhere to be found. So you guys have now had to come to this show and others like me online to get the truth about the health condition because clearly something's going on. The White House is still saying that Trump's hand is bruised because he's shaking too many hands. He's shaking so many hands. We know that's from a fucking IV. We weren't born yesterday, okay? We weren't born yesterday. Trump's dad died at age 86 with a severe case of Alzheimer's. Trump is 80 years old. His risk is 3 times to 15 times higher for getting Alzheimer's than your average person because of the family history. They say that signs can start showing as young as 65. Trump's 80. He's 80. So what are the symptoms of it? Gait abnormalities is one of them. The way you walk. Remember that video of Trump walking? There's been a number of videos now of Trump walking. He can't walk a straight line. He goes back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. He did that walking at the White House with a little kid. Remember that one? There was one of him getting off the plane, walking on a red carpet to come meet Putin. Couldn't walk in a straight line. Sundowning. Trump has been starting his days later, ending his days earlier. Repetition and fixation. That's classic Trump. Confabulation, which is another fancy way of saying honest lying. That's definitely Trump. Where he says something, he sounds totally certain, totally sure of himself, but it's totally made up. Now, he's always been a liar, so it's difficult to tell and disaggregate, hey, what's an illness versus what's just Trump being Trump. But the more you read, the more you see, well, hold on a second. This really doesn't make sense. This stuff is not adding up. The first thing to go with early Alzheimer's is executive function and impulse control. You get behavioral disinhibition, which is like Trump screaming, quiet piggy, to a female journalist, or him screaming at a journalist that you're a stupid person at Mar-a-Lago, or him being on stage when he's running for president, stopping a town hall early to be a DJ and play Ave Maria and sway back and forth while everybody's looking around confused. But I haven't even gotten to the most damning evidence. Of course, his nephew says he already sees signs in Trump of Alzheimer's, but the treatment for early Alzheimer's is an injection of a drug called Leqembi, which you do every 2 weeks, and it goes in through IV. In other words, exactly what Trump is showing right now. Every 2 weeks, he's got the bruises on his hand. You know what else? He has that MRI, right? He was talking about getting an MRI. Why was he getting an MRI? When you get Leqembi, it leads to brain swelling potentially and brain bleeds. They need to make sure you're not getting brain swelling or brain bleeds, so they have to do regular MRIs. There you go. There you go. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing him. I don't know what the truth is. But the fact of the matter is, they are hiding something. When you hide something, you open up the door for everybody to correctly speculate. Maybe I'm wrong. The original theory was mini strokes. Maybe he was having mini strokes. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But they're hiding it. They're not being honest. Everybody knows that. Here I am on YouTube talking about it. I haven't seen the segment about does Trump have Alzheimer's on CNN from Jake Tapper. In fact, all I see is him doing book tours talking about Joe Biden still. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Mr. I'm a truth teller. I'm going to come out here and tell you the truth. That's why I wrote this book. And you're refusing to tell the truth on this right here, right now, again, when it matters. You didn't tell the truth when it mattered for Biden. You did after the fact. And now you're not telling the truth again for this. So spare me, spare me, spare me. And people are pissed. People are pissed at Jake Tapper. He pissed off his whole audience by doing this fucking bullshit. We all see through it, man. We all see through it. You might sell some books, but you are not up to date. You are not on top of it when it fucking matters. And it's never been more clear. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.